This is Ted Flett of Golden Skate, and I'm thrilled to be joined by, where do we start? U.S. national champion, Olympic team event bronze medalist, and moments ago crowned Autumn Classic International champion. It's great to speak with you, Bradie.
Yeah, great to be here.
So Bradie Tennell, tell us about last season. Can you put it into words, all that happened?
I don't think I can.
No.
It was the craziest whirlwind I've ever experienced. But I wouldn't change a second of it. It was amazing. It was everything I'd ever been dreaming of, and I still get goosebumps when I think about it.
Mm-hmm. When you came into last season, did you ever think, I'm going to be U.S. national champion, I'm going to go to the Olympics, and I'm going to walk away with the bronze medal?
No, I never thought. I mean, I hoped, but I never thought I would.
It really seemed to, the spotlight seemed to really shine on you after Skate America, or at Skate America.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your level of preparation for Skate America and how you were able to pull off that success?
I just kind of focused on myself and trusted my training and what I knew I could do. And I just went out there, and it almost felt a bit like U.S. Nationals because of, it was in America, obviously, and like just the whole atmosphere and everything, and the fans were so great. So it was a lot of fun for me. And the experience was great.
There was a lot of attention, of course, at that event on Ashley Wagner, and there is such a depth of talent in the U.S. Can you talk about that and the challenges that brings, or the motivation?
I think the U.S. has a fantastic pool of talent, and it inspires me to work harder every day. And just go out there and focus on me and do what I know how to do.
So you came back from training after Skate America, and how did you let that not sort of get to your head or become distracted or let the pressure really bear down on you?
I don't know. I don't like to think about the things that I can't control. I just like to kind of stay in my own little bubble and, do what I know works best for me.
Can you talk about then the events leading up towards nationals and your level of calm and preparation going into those? 'Cause you killed it.
Thank you. Actually, I caught a really bad cold. It was either a cold or the flu, like 2 weeks before nationals.
Okay.
And then, instead of being like, oh my God, I'm so sick, I was like, well, better to get it out of the way now than to be at nationals and be sick.
Yeah.
So, just little things like that. I try to always look on the positive.
Did that make you think this is the worst timing and it's going to interrupt your level of preparation?
No, actually, I think I was more like, oh my goodness, I get a break.
Right. Oh, okay. How many days off did you get?
I can't remember. I just remember I was laying in bed, I was so sick. But then I came back and I was like, I'm not going to let this get me down.
Right.
I know what I can do, and it just made me work harder.
Skating at U.S. Nationals, after Ashley, after Mariah, was any of that distracting to you? Were you aware of how relatively well they'd skated and the pressure that would put on you?
So the warm-up at nationals, I was literally shaking. It was so intense, and I hadn't ever been in the last warm-up at nationals before, and I was not prepared for the magnitude of, it was so tense you could practically cut the tension with a knife or something. Wow. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And there's so much going on in your mind in those 6 minutes, so much you have to get through for a free skate program to warm up, and I was like shaking. I was not prepared for that. And then I got off the ice and I was like, okay, you know what you're doing. You've done this a million times before. There's nothing you can't do. And then, when I skated out there, it was so loud, I could not hear my name being called.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I think it's been 30 seconds. So yeah, that's probably what sticks out in my mind the most, the fact that I could not hear my name being called.
Was it a good warm-up, or was it like, even though you're shaky, were you able to get done what you needed to, or were you sort of falling around? I remember it wasn't the warm-up I was hoping for.
Okay. So it was a little off-kilter.
Okay.
But then I skated last.
Yeah.
So I really just took that time to ground myself and do what I knew how to do.
And on the NBC coverage, there was quite a bit of sort of manic happening, not manic, but action happening backstage. Ashley had skated relatively well. She debuted a new sort of showed her
Yeah.
kind of new program, La La Land.
Yeah.
She was not happy with the scores. There was a lot of drama and attention around that. Were you aware or sort of drawn into any of that, or
I
how
had
did you
no idea.
totally keep yourself away?
I had no idea. I had my headphones on, and I was just like in my own little world and keeping myself warm. And you know, I was just like, I can't control what anybody else does. All I can do is what I know how to do, and you know, that's what I'm going to do. So.
Right. How did you feel once you get to the Olympics in Pyeongchang, winning the team bronze medal with your fellow country citizens and skaters?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I can't even put it into words. Like I look at it and I think like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, you know, I have an Olympic medal. It's insane.
Right. And you skated really strong in that short program in the team event. Were
Yeah.
you nervous running up to it, or how were you feeling?
I wouldn't say nervous. I would say I felt a sense of responsibility to the team to do my best and to kind of earn a score that I could be proud of and that the country could be proud of.
Versus skating just for yourself in an individual event. Did you like that more, or did you like it less?
I don't know. You know,
Okay.
I always say my biggest competition is myself. But, you know, when you have however many other athletes on the team that are counting on you to do what you've trained, like there's an added sense of pressure there.
Sure.
But then again, like you just kind of want to go out there and enjoy every moment of it because it's the Olympics. Like, you know.
How would you compare the team event then to the individual event and your performance in that?
You know, it was a long month there.
'Cause it's a big gap between the team event and then the ladies. Did you stay in Pyeongchang the whole time? Did you?
No, we went up to, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it right now, but we went up to a different site where we were able to practice for longer every day and kind of get out of the village and kind of reset ourselves, which was it was nice. But then when we came back, we had a few days to reacclimate to the village and everything going on and all the media. So yeah.
Okay. At the close of the event and some of the media coverage around it, there was attention to the fact that in comparison to years past, Americans didn't perform, U.S. ladies didn't perform as well.
Right.
This was your first U.S. national title, your first Olympics. You know, you sort of came onto the senior scene in a major way.
Yeah.
Only a matter of months before the Olympics. Did you think that was fair? Were you even aware of some of that criticism?
No, I wasn't aware of it. I don't actively seek out like articles and everything like that. I just don't think it's the best for my headspace. But, you know, obviously I felt a sense of responsibility, but I felt that I went into the competition as prepared as I could be. And obviously it was a whole new experience for me. Like many others at the Olympics, it was our first time. But I didn't have the experience that a lot of the other athletes had with the multiple Grand Prix events and everything else. So I think I'm very proud of how I did there, and I think I did very well.
Talk about sort of your transition coming out of that season and into training. Did you take a break? Did you get right back to business? What did that look like?
So after the Olympics, we had a couple weeks at home, and then we went to Milan for Worlds.
Yep.
And then I had 3 days after I got home from Milan, and I was touring with Stars on Ice, which is it was an absolute blast.
Yep.
So much fun. And then after that, I took probably about 4 days off, and then I came back to skating and kind of just getting out there and loosening up and stuff before I started my choreography.
So, and tell us about your inspiration behind your music choices. Let's start first with the short program and your choreographer and how you pick the music and what it means to you.
So last year I was doing my old short program, and I was working on just kind of putting more body and feeling into it. And this other piece of music came on, and I was like, "Oh, I like that." And Benoit was like, "Okay, we save for next year." And so, like, you know, then this year we came to the table and we were like throwing out ideas, and he's like, "Oh, I have this piece from last year that you liked." And I was a little leery about it at first because it's very different. It's kind of mysterious. It's a little bit, I almost think of it like a little bit sci-fi-ish, which I really like. But yeah, I was a little leery about skating to it at first. It's like, well, it's a lot different than anything I've ever done before. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. but I really like the music, so, you know, why not? And Benoit helped me with my confidence and feeling like I could skate to it. And I think the program is amazing. I absolutely love it.
It's such a different look for you in comparison to last year's certainly long program, which was, of course, princessy and open and so forth. This is quite almost even dark.
Yeah.
Is it, you know, when you hear that music day in and day out, does it still sort of muster that same vibe at the, you know, when it was first choreographed and pieced together?
Yeah. I feel like, you know, every time I do it, there's something I can do better. There's something that can be more. And I think that's exciting to always, it's a challenge to always find something to improve on, but it's part of what makes skating so much fun.
And can you talk about your long program and sort of Romeo and Juliet through the years or through the different forms?
So the beginning of the program is like, it's Prokofiev's the dance. So it's like they're meeting at dinner and they dance and the connection is there. And then the slower piece is, you know, when she finds Romeo and she's heartbroken, and there's so much feeling behind that piece of music. And I love my step sequence this year. I think it's amazing. And I'm really trying to draw out that emotion in the music and put it into my skating. And then the end piece is the darker piece, and it's, you know, when she's because of their total lack of communication, she's thinking about killing herself, and in the end ultimately does. And I love that because again, it's so different from last year, and that was kind of the idea. I really wanted to separate myself from last year. I wanted people to say like, wow, this is a whole new skater. Like, you know, I didn't even want to be comparable to last year, because I feel like I'm so much more mature now, and I feel like these programs really bring out a different side of me.
Changing course and making sure that you look like a different skater is such a brave and tough thing to do, because last year, you know, the old style worked. So why not keep running with it?
Well, what's the fun in that?
Yeah, that's right.
There's always got to be a challenge. You know, I think I never want to stay the same. I always want to keep getting better and keep growing, and you know, I think it's important.
Now, you're certainly, of course, not the first to skate to Romeo and Juliet. Did you see some other skaters' performances and interpretations of the music, or what did your research sort of look like?
I've seen them in the past, but I didn't like actively research them because I feel like, you know, with my programs, I want to make them my own. I don't want to like copy somebody else, because I think it's very important to me to be my own skater. Okay.
You spoke earlier about challenge, and you now have a triple loop in both programs.
Yes.
So talk about that little trick, and when did you start working on it, and what motivated you to incorporate that into the programs here?
So I actually first started working on it last year, but because of how high stakes the season was, I didn't feel like it was a good idea to put it in the programs last year, especially with how new everything was to me and all, like, well, my lack of experience on the international circuit, I should say. So this year I felt like it was really the right time with kind of the vibe I'm going for with the challenges and rowing. And I've actually always liked loops better than toes. So that was kind of my idea in trying it last year. I was like, hey, what if, you know, like, so.
Excellent. And how do you feel that's going? How do you know, in terms of, I imagine the loop, of course, is a harder jump to make sure you rotate.
Yes.
The under rotation, what does that look like? What's your percentage of, or ratio of success in under versus under rotated?
Oh, I actually couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Okay. But you obviously feel solid enough that it's in the programs. Now, you incorporated them in both programs here, and skated cleanly in both. How did that happen? What sort of got you into this mindset to succeed here in Canada?
You know, I really just wanted to go out there. It's the first competition of the season. You know, obviously, there's a lot to improve on in these programs. They weren't perfect by any means, but that's okay, because I don't want to be perfect now. I want to be perfect at the right time. So I think this was a very good start to my season, and I'm really looking forward to what the rest of it brings.
Deep field here in the women's event. You've got the world silver medalist Wakaba Higuchi from Japan, and of course Evgeny Medvedeva, who, two-time world champion, Olympic silver medalist. Were you sort of thinking about that at all, or were you aware that they'd be in the mix? Did you see them in practice, watching them at all in warm-up?
I knew they were there, and obviously they're wonderful skaters. But at the end of the day, it's when the music starts, it's just me, the ice, and the music, and I can only control what I do. So, I don't think it's necessary for me to really focus on other people so much.
And your Grand Prix events this season are?
Skate America and France.
Okay, and any specific goals for those two events, or continue growing?
I just want to continue growing.
Yeah, excellent. Bradie, it's been so great to chat with you.
Yeah, you
Congratulations on your success last
you.
year, and of course your success here in Oakville, Canada, winning the Autumn Classic.
Thank
and best
you.
of luck this season.
Thank you very much.